it's great to be a part of a community that really embraces what we do for a living. I'm Michael Sweet. I'm the bar manager here at Savas. I've been with the company for about a year and a half. I was head bartender at Aventura and then moved out here to take the bar over. The thing that we do as a company is just trying to kind of keep the edge in finding out the next trends and kind of staying ahead of the trends. That's one thing that we really like to do. And also, like I said, just staying seasonal. There are so many great things that Michigan has to offer, and you can go to the farmers market and pick up some ingredients and come and bring it back. And that's one thing that we both do is we go over to the farmer market on Wednesday and go pick up some local fresh ingredients and maybe make a shrub or a simple syrup or just some like local basil to muddle things in. And like I said, just saying that you have local ingredients is a big selling point for your bars. Aventura is definitely more of your adventurous type cocktail, just because it's more of the young business professional and people that are looking for things that are a little bit different. That whole side is like Last Word and Ravens Club and people that are more, for lack of a better term, like a cocktail nerd sort of aspect community. Here we do a little bit of that, but because we're halfway between here and campus, we also do things a little bit more on the novice side as well. Like we still make margaritas and things like that, but down there it was definitely more of your Boulevardiers, your Vespers, the more of the vintage cocktails that are kind of resurfaced a little bit. Their menu is definitely different. They have a solid menu that they hand out to everybody, and they have a bar only menu that you can only get at the bar. So the things you can only get at the bar tend to be a little bit more labor intensive, but also reach a little bit for a different type of cocktail maker. We have one seasonal Founders, we have one seasonal Bells, we do seasonal Shorts. But in those sort of terms, we're actually going to get out of that our next menu and just get into more of rotating all types of beers to give us a little bit of freedom on our menu. Beers typically for Michigan is almost always local just because there's so many different types of beer available in Michigan. Really any style of beer you're looking for is made by a Michigan brewery somewhere down the line, whether it's a Belgian style beer or a Kolsch style beer, something that might be indigenous to a certain area that you can only get it from. Like in order for it to be a Belgian beer, it has to be from Belgium, but there are a lot of places that do Belgian style, meaning they use a particular yeast strain, so it's made in that style, but you can only call it Belgian style because it's not made the region for it. But like I said, for the most part, beers is one thing that we really focus on local, just because there's so many great Michigan beers. There are some great local spirits as well, but it's not as vast as what beer is at this point. There's a lot of craft distilleries kind of popping up. Copper Craft is another really great one out of Michigan. But a lot of the breweries are also getting into distilling experience as well, like New Holland's doing both. Two James is obviously really big. There's a vodka called Art of Detroit vodka. That one sells really well. The great thing about Two James is they're kind of stepping outside of just one spirit. I mean, they're really well known for their gin. That's kind of what they do. They have a vodka, they have a mezcal, they have a couple of whiskeys. So they're definitely opening their catalog a little bit in terms of what they do, which is great for us as bartenders because it gives us some fun stuff to play with. And I mean, Michigan people appreciate local everything, seasonal everything. So when they can see something is made nearby, they're more likely to try it out. Maybe try something a little bit more adventurous just because they see something that's local. Michigan is definitely the most local-oriented state that I've lived in. I lived in quite a few states in my duration of bartending, but Michigan is all about all Michigan everything, which is a great thing, but it can also sometimes be a bad thing because everybody loves Two Hearted, but Two Hearted is something you get at a gas station. And we try not to carry things that are too mainstream because our theory is what's the point in coming here and get it if you can get it anywhere. But it also sometimes keeps you inside the box as somebody who's trying to go outside the box a little bit. Some things you're tied to just because people in Michigan love it. So there is a negative side to it as well, but I mean the bonus is you're always getting things fresh, you're always getting things from an hour away. So that's also kind of the bonus about going local as well, is just it doesn't travel that far. So you're getting the product as fresh as it possibly can be, versus getting something from California that's got to travel across the country for a couple of weeks. We never really know how long it's been traveling or how long ago it was made. Typically things are dated, but like I said, it's definitely better to get it outside of Kalamazoo or outside of Grand Rapids, and then it comes here within a day or two. We do a lot of beer and wine dinners here.
Okay.
I think we might get into some cocktail workshops and get into hosting classes and things like that to just kind of educate the town a little bit more. So, I mean, this is such a big food and beverage-based town, and people are really excited to learn about things like that. It's definitely more of spring, summer, fall, winter. So we are in our fall menu right now, and there's a lot of spice pear, a lot of clove, some pumpkin things, some sweet potato things, like things that are actually part of the season. And then we'll be switching it over January 1st and going into more of the winter cocktails where it'll be more of hot drinks and some hot toddies and catching some things on fire and eggnog and things like that. Things that are while they might not be hot, still warming in flavors. Something you can make at home is just do a little bit of research on eggnog. I mean, that's like the one for the season, especially coming up out of Thanksgiving going into Christmas. There's so many different versions. There's rum versions, there's brandy versions, there's whiskey versions, there's spicier, there's heavier cream, there's more egg, less egg. It just kind of depends on your preference. So it's one that you can kind of play with yourself and find out a really great recipe. One that we did for the fall menu was a sweet potato hot toddy. So basically we take some sweet potatoes, boil them down, and then take the water after we strain the sweet potatoes out and mix it with some sugar, and basically make a sweet potato simple syrup out of it, and then add a little bit of whiskey and some hot water and some a little bit of lemon. So it's a really great version of a hot toddy that's fun for the season. Another great one that we do is play on a fall sangria. It has a little bit of spice pear liqueur and some apple whiskey, some sugar and lemon, and then we do a wine float on top. So the wine actually layers. It's a little bit more buoyant than the rest of the cocktail, so the wine actually layers on top. So that's kind of a fun play on sangria for somebody that doesn't want a overly sweet sangria. Has a little bit of the booze back to it, but it's great for the season. The great thing about ham is it's pretty salty, so really you can play with a lot of fun combos with that. You can do a fruity salty, a sweet and salty. Something like if you want to go wine, like a Riesling would be great just to play with that sweet and salty combo. Depending upon the type of turkey you're doing, like a smoked turkey would be really great with like a tempranillo, because most of them tend to have a little bit of a smoky tone to them. If you're going to do a fried turkey, that would be really great with just a really dry, crisp cider. That would be really fun as well. Maybe not something too sweet to play off of that smoke.